ready down there? Okay, we'll go ahead and begin then. We do have a notice. If you want to go ahead and give them the notice, and then we'll open the meeting up.
Sure. So I want to notify everyone here that staff and the petitioner for the special use permit request to allow athletic fields incidental to the Joliet Catholic Academy High School located at 1201 Wyoming Avenue is being recommended for tabling tonight, as is another petition, which is the petition for 1507 East Cass Street, which is a variation of use request. That petition is also being recommended by staff to the zoning board for tabling tonight. So staff is recommending that the zoning board do not open the public hearing for those two items. And the date to which the petition for the Joliet Catholic Academy athletic fields would be recommended to be tabled to the June 19th, 2025 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. And the date to which the city staff is recommending the tabling of the petition for 1507 East Cass Street would be recommended for the May 15th, 2025 meeting, and that will be done, that actual request will be done during the course of this meeting. So with that.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start. This is a duly advertised meeting of the Joliet Zoning Board of Appeals. In our capacity, we hear petitions for relief from the strict provisions of our city ordinance. In matters of this type, the decision of the board is final in respect that it does not go to the mayor and city council for further action. However, if you disagree with our decision, you have recourse in the court of record. We also hear petitions for variations of land use. In matter of this type, we act as an advisory committee to the mayor and city council, making a recommendation either for or against it. The final decision on land use is made by the mayor and city council. Go ahead and call the roll.
Mr. Bias? Mr. Nachtrieb?
Here.
Ms. Radakovich?
Here.
Mr. Riggs?
Here.
Ms. Rohr?
Here.
Mr. Stiff?
Here.
And Chairman Hennessy is absent today.
Great. First on the agenda is the approval of the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting minutes for March 20th of 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Nachtrieb?
I abstain. I was not here.
Ms. Radakovich? Mr. Riggs?
Here.
Ms.
Aye.
Rohr?
Aye.
Mr. Stiff?
Aye.
Mr. Bias?
Aye.
Okay, those are approved. Next on the agenda is citizens to be heard on agenda items. This section is for anyone wanting to speak regarding agenda items and are allowed a maximum of 4 minutes. It is not a question and answer period, and staff and the Zoning Board of Appeals members generally do not respond to public comments. Is there anyone at this time who would like to approach the podium and make a comment under citizens to be heard on agenda items? One more thing, if the matter is also listed as a public hearing tonight, you are welcome to make comments during that time as well.
Good afternoon. My
Ma'am, we
name is
need to,
Joliet Gura, and I reside at
ma'am,
1304.
we need to swear you in.
I'm sorry?
We need to swear you in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, your name and address.
Jory Gura, 1304 Clara Avenue, Joliet 60435.
Okay, you can go ahead.
I reside at 1304 Clara, and I'm here regarding the sports complex they want to build on the property at 1201 Wyoming. We were not notified of it, and I know they only have to notify within 600 feet of the property being built. I went and spoke between 30 and probably 40 people on Saturday that are within 600 feet. I went to Wyoming, Texas, Westshire, Krings Plaza, Bartholomew, Ingalls. One person had received a postcard. No one else did. No one attended this meeting they had. And then also, we asked if anybody else we heard rumors about it, but that was it. A week and a half ago, signs showed up on the property about the zoning board meeting today. That's when everybody kind of found out about it. And we've had issues with traffic for a very long time in our area. We've had traffic studies. They've added a third stop sign on our street, 20, 25 miles an hour, things like that. We've had multiple cars totaled on our street and everything. We have Taft, Hufford, and JCA right in that small vicinity. We've had, some people have street parking, they don't have driveways because it's an older neighborhood. Some people don't have sidewalks. We have to walk in the street to walk our children or our dogs. So this is bringing a concern if they're going to build something that can hold 7,000 people. 7,000 cars aren't going to be there, but say half come in for a football game. That's an extra 3,000 cars we're going to have in our neighborhood when we already have all this trouble. What I would like to see happen is this be tabled so we can have a proper neighborhood meeting. They did have a meeting with the Our Lady of Angels Village. Most of them are Sisters of St. Francis. I talked to them on Saturday also. They own that property. They have to back it. So I think many citizens in that neighborhood, it has been a big talk about now since those signs went up. People are very upset with what may be put in there. You're not only bringing other schools in, you're bringing all these extra cars, extra people. They're pushing for tailgating like they do at Memorial Stadium. Can't be done on school property, it has to be passed. So there's just so many things that are going on and other things haven't been looked at. So what we proposed, the neighbors and I, this be tabled, we have a proper neighborhood meeting where everyone can be invited, and then we would like to see like a street study done on Ingalls and on Wyoming to see what traffic flow is now. Because we now get the traffic when schools are getting out, if they can't go out Larkin or Wyoming, they come our way. We've had children hit on our block because they took our crossing guard away a few years ago. We've had animals run over, like I said, cars totaled. Our speed limit is 25 miles an hour. My son's car was totaled and pushed 2 houses up, but they were going 25 miles an hour. So I just think this needs to be looked at better, and we need to be more informed as to what's going to actually be built there before anything is done. Thank you.
They did make a proposal to table this, and it'll be on for a couple months from now on, so that they can go over the site plan and speak to the neighbors around the area.
Okay, could I ask one question? One of my neighbors sent me a note because I'm at work. One of my neighbors sent me notice it was tabled till August 21st, and then we got a second one later in the morning that says June 19th.
June 19th.
It is June 19th?
Yes.
Okay, so they will have a community meeting or something like that?
I would
That's
just like
what
to
they're
point out, that's
proposing.
not definite yet. We still have to vote on that. So just,
Yep.
I don't want to give out a specific date, and then that's what staff is recommending. We have the final say on
That's
that.
when they're asking it for it to be tabled till.
Okay, but it will be tabled today then?
Yes. Well,
Well,
no.
it'll be brought up, but
Okay.
in most cases, it will be.
Okay, I'm just asking because I'm on a half-hour break. I have to get back to my office. So, all right, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Ma'am, you can come up. Again, we'll swear you in. Do you swear the truth to be given today?
Yes.
Go ahead and give us your name and address.
Louise Converse. I live at 1221 Oregon, which is 2 blocks from this proposed complex. My concern, where did I write this down? Okay, we have had historically problems with flooding in this area around the school. It's finally been fixed so that I have gone 3 years without having to clean stuff out of my basement. JCA is not presently connected to a storm sewer. With this project, they will be covering up the remaining natural sponge of open territory with pavement, which is going to increase runoff into the streets and into the sewers. And we're going to have a problem. People's basements are going to get flooded, the streets are going to get flooded. And basically, this is in violation of the Clean Air and Water Act of 1973. The city got caught on this before, which is why my neighborhood has been fixed. But now we're back to square one. JCA is not connected. They cannot take on this kind of water problem. And our sewers are designed for a residential area. They cannot take on the additional pressure of a complex of this size. And that is basically my concern. So I agree with Mrs. Dura that this should definitely be tabled and a community meeting planned. I don't think JCA ever thought this through. That's it.
Again, they are going to be going over the site plan and all with the meetings that they have,
Mhm.
which will
And
be
I got more,
discussing
but I
that.
will leave it at that for today.
Thank you. Anyone else? Come on up.
I'm
Again?
hard of hearing, so if you like to talk loud.
Okay, again, we'll swear you in. Go ahead and the information you give is the truth. And give us your name and address.
Yes.
Your name and address?
Teresa Ashby, 1133 Westshire Drive, third house from Eagles. I could see right across the Eagles to see JCA. Okay,
Okay.
right? Okay. Okay. I have lived in this JCA neighborhood for almost 50 years. I rented a home on Westminster Drive in the same neighborhood back in the 70s. When I moved from out of state, I wanted to live closer to my family, so I moved there. I remember having problems with students parking along both sides of that street, and would be very difficult to pull out of your driveways. JCA had a parking lot then, but some students preferred parking on the side streets as they still do today. I bought a home here on Westshire Drive because I had the nursing home across the street and I didn't have to worry about parking. It was quiet and I liked it very much for almost 50 years. Ingalls Avenue has become very noisy and busy in the last few years. Speeders, trucks, emergency vehicles, and so forth. I think a sports complex could make it even worse, especially when games are being played. This is a residential neighborhood and no place for a sports complex with hundreds of people coming and going. It will make Ingalls worse. Our Joliet Stadium is far away from residential homes to cause any problems, and that's the way it should be. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for kids in sports. My 2 children were in sports, and it's a good thing. But we're talking about living conditions here. My biggest concern is the traffic, parking, and lighting, and noise it will create. Would you want this in your backyard? Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Again, we must swear you in. The information you
Certainly.
give is the truth.
I do.
Go ahead and give us your name and address.
Good afternoon. My name is Timothy Broderick, 1401 Mason Avenue, Joliet, Illinois. I understand that many of you may have concerns about the proposed new athletic facilities at Joliet Catholic Academy. And I'm here to respectfully express my support for how this project is designed with respect and care for our neighborhoods. JCA has been part of Joliet for many years, not just as an educational institution, but as a responsible neighbor. The Academy's commitment to good stewardship means they plan these new facilities with your concerns in mind, minimizing traffic disruptions, controlling noise, and protecting green spaces. This isn't just about improving the school, it's about enhancing the entire community. The new facilities will provide students with resources they need to grow and to ensure that we, as neighbors, continue to have a safe and pleasant neighborhood. I call it a healthy balance. I believe the Joliet Catholic Academy values its relationships with the community and is working hard to ensure that the project benefits everyone involved. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, again, this is on record, so anyone can pull up this video later on, and I'm sure they will too, and they'll hear your comments that you made. So if there's no further people that would speak at this time, we'll go on with the meeting.
All right. Next on the agenda is old business, public hearing, to which we have no agenda items listed under that category. Now on the agenda is new business, public hearing. And up first is petition number 2025-7, which is a series of variations on signage to allow tenant wall and monument signs located at 2903 Schweitzer Road. The applicant in this matter is RJW Logistics Group. The status of the applicant is they're the tenant. The owner is 2903 Schweitzer Road, CNT PR LLC. And again, the request is for a series of variations on signage to allow tenant and monument signs. Under purpose, the applicant is requesting several variations on signage to allow the installation of 3 tenant wall signs as well as a tenant logo on an existing water storage tank at 2903 Schweitzer Road. The site is within the intermodal terminal zoning district, which has its own set of sign regulations under section 47-14A.9 IT district sign regulations. Per this section, the maximum area of a wall sign in the IT district is 100 square feet, and tenants are permitted 1 wall sign per street frontage. Monument and ground signs are limited to 12 feet in height, a maximum sign face area of 80 square feet, and should be constructed of materials that match the principal building. The applicant is requesting the following sign variations: to increase the maximum area for a wall sign from 100 square feet to 200 square feet for 3 tenant wall signs in total. To allow a wall sign that does not face street frontage, which is the northwest corner wall sign, and to allow the water storage tank as a tenant ground sign. The Zoning Board of Appeals makes the final decision on these variation requests. For site-specific information, the property is 69.1 acres and contains 977,000 square foot industrial warehouse construction in 2023. The site is lot 22 of Centerpoint Intermodal Center at the Joliet Phase 26 subdivision and is zoned ITC, Intermodal Terminal Industrial Park. The Hobart Road extension, which opened in April 2023 and links to Interstate 80 to Centerpoint Intermodal Center, is located to the east of the property. In January of 2024, the Zoning Board of Appeals approved a sign variation to allow 3 additional business park identification signs for Centerpoint Intermodal Center at this location. These signs are the 36 square foot Centerpoint logos on the north and east walls of the building and the 130 square foot Centerpoint logo on the water tank at the southeast corner of the site. Under surrounding zoning, land use, and character, the property is located within the Joliet Centerpoint Intermodal Center. The lot is surrounded on the west, north, and east by stormwater detention and naturalized areas that are zoned ITC, which is Intermodal Terminal Industrial Park. To the south is an undeveloped area within Will County zoned County A1, which is agriculture. A trucking facility zoned ITB, Intermodal Terminal Transportation Equipment, and an undeveloped Centerpoint parcel zoned ITC. Hobart Road is to the east, and the Des Plaines River is to the west and north. Under applicable regulations, we have our sign regulations for the IT district and then regulations pertaining to the criteria for granting a sign variation. Under discussion, the petitioner, RJW Logistics Group, seeks to install 3 wall signs and a tenant sign on the water tank at the existing warehouse development at 2903 Schweitzer Road. The site is located at the northwest corner of Schweitzer Road and Hobart Road, near the northern entry to the Centerpoint Intermodal Park. The tenant wall signs would be located on the north, east, and northwest faces of the building. Each wall sign would be 200 square feet in area. The sign on the water tank is 127 square feet. Sign graphics and a site plan are attached. The IT district sign requirements include that wall signs should be a maximum of 100 square feet and that tenants are permitted 1 wall sign per street frontage. The petitioner needs variations to increase the sign area to 200 square feet and to install a sign on the northwest corner of the building which does not face a public street. Additionally, the IT sign ordinance regulates ground signs with regards to height, area, design, and materials. The petitioner would like to place their logo on the existing water tank to serve as their ground sign due to the tank's location and visibility. The water tank is located at the southeast corner of the site on the west side of the main driveway entrance and contains the CenterPoint name and logo. Because the water tank does not meet the ground sign specifications, the petitioner needs a variation to locate their tenant logo on the water tank. There are 3 existing ground signs located along the south property line next to each of the 3 driveway entrances. These signs were constructed at the same time as the building and have a stone base topped with an 18 square foot blank sign face. The tenant plans to use these as directional signs due to their location and small size. Staff finds that the request meets the following criteria for sign variations. The proposed use would not be detrimental to the use or development of other property in the area. The petitioner has demonstrated lease of the property, and that the approval of the variation would not be contrary to the objective of improving the overall appearance of the city. The site in question has unique attributes, such as the prominent location of the existing water tank at the main entrance and the site's location at the corner of the intermodal park on a dead-end street. Due to the location of the lot, the signs would be located over 400 feet from the nearest public street, which is Hobart Road. The proposed signs are in scale with the building and would not be out of character with the surrounding area. In recent years, 2 other locations within CenterPoint received sign variations to allow signs up to 200 square feet in area. Signs of this size are permitted by right in the city's I-1 light industrial and I-2 general industrial zoning districts. The petitioner's findings in response to the variation criteria are attached to their application as Exhibit B. It should be noted that the property owner has no objections to this request as stated in the attached letter from CenterPoint Properties. And under conditions, staff is recommending none. And that concludes our report.
Okay, is the petitioner present? Please come up to the podium. I must swear you in. Do you swear your statement to be true?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Nicholas Roush, 1106 North Cedar Road, New Lenox, Illinois.
Do you have any questions or comments to the board?
I do not.
Okay. Does anyone here wish to speak in favor of the petition? Anyone opposed? With that, I will close and ask the board if they have any questions. And no questions, we'll ask for a motion to approve or deny.
I move we approve.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Ms. Radakovich?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr?
Aye.
Mr. Stiff?
Aye.
Mr. Bias?
Aye.
Mr. Nachtrieb?
Aye.
Okay, that motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is petition 2025-8, a variation of use to allow a wholesale business, which is a B3 general business use, in a B1 neighborhood business zoning district located at 470 South Hamas Avenue. The applicant with this request is Michael Collins from Sharp Property Solutions. The status of the applicant is property owner. The owner is Charles Sharp, IRA. The location, again, is 470 South Hamas Avenue, and the request, again, is a variation of use to allow a wholesale business, a B3 general business use in the B1 neighborhood business district. Under purpose, the applicant is requesting a variation of use to allow a commercial lighting wholesale business in the B1 neighborhood business zoning district at 470 South Hamas Avenue. Wholesale businesses are permitted in the B3 General Business District. The variation of use request must be considered by the City Council following the recommendation of this Zoning Board of Appeals. Under site-specific information, the subject property is approximately 20,400 square feet and contains a 6,400 square foot commercial warehouse building in an asphalt parking lot with around 10 spaces. The building interior contains offices, reception, restrooms, and a large storage area. The building has a loading dock on the south end, accessed from the main parking lot, as well as a rear loading door on the east side. The property was annexed in 1970 as part of the 34 acres at the southeast corner of McDonough Street and Hamas Avenue. At that time, a developer was proposing a mix of retail, service, and residential uses for that location. The annexed area was classified to the B3 General Business District, except for the 200-foot by 600-foot area at the northwest corner of the site, which was classified to the B1 Neighborhood Business District due to its location across the street from the existing church campus, former St. Jude campus. The proposal was never built, and the area remained undeveloped until the 1990s, when it was subdivided into commercial lots as part of the Oak Leaf Center subdivision. The subject property, which is zoned B1, was developed with a commercial warehouse around 1995. It has contained wholesale and manufacturing uses since then and is currently vacant. Under surrounding zoning, land use, and character, the property is located in the Oak Leaf Center commercial subdivision. The zoning and land use for the adjacent properties are as follows. To the north is R2 single-family residential zoning with residential uses in the Marycrest subdivision. To the south is zoned B3 general business, and there is a commercial truck repair business located there. To the east is B3 general business with an industrial warehouse use. And then to the west is R2 single-family residential, and it is the former St. Jude Catholic Church campus. Under applicable regulations, we have those for the B3 General Business District permitted uses, those for the B1 Neighborhood Business District permitted uses, and the regulations pertaining to a variation of use. Under discussion, the petitioner, Michael Collins, is requesting a variation of use to allow a commercial lighting wholesale business to occupy the property at 470 South Hamas Avenue. The business, Lighting X, sells commercial indoor and outdoor lighting products. The business will have 2 employees and will operate Monday through Friday from approximately 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. A site plan and floor plan are attached. The proposed use will be in character with other uses in the surrounding commercial subdivision. The 2 properties to the south were also originally zoned B1 and were later developed with commercial warehouse buildings. The property at 480 South Hamas, which currently contains a truck repair business, was reclassified from the B1 to the B3 district in 1999 to allow construction of a commercial warehouse. In 2023, the property at 490 South Hamas received approval of a variation of use to allow B3 use in the B1 district for a truck and RV repair business, which currently occupies the site. The property to the north at 2100 and 2108 McDonough Street has both B1 and B3 zoning and contains B3 uses such as a contractor and wholesale business. Under conditions, if the zoning board desires to approve this variation of use to allow a wholesale business, a B3 general business use, and a B1 neighborhood business district at 470 South Hamas Avenue, the following conditions would be included. 1, that the use of the property shall not be expanded in the future, and 2, should the property be declared a public nuisance, the property may be subject to a rehearing and possible revocation of the variation of use. And that concludes staff's report.
Is the petitioner present for this one? Please come up to the podium. I must swear you in. Do you swear your statement to be true?
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Michael Collins, 825 Stonebridge Road, Frankfort, Illinois.
Do you have any questions or comments for the board?
I do not, other than thank you, Ms. Miller, for helping us through this.
Okay, is there anyone here to speak in favor of the petition? Is there anyone to oppose this one? If not, I'll close it. And is there any questions from the board? And I don't see any questions from the board. We need a motion either for or
Motion
against.
to accept. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr,
Aye.
Mr. Stiff,
Aye.
Mr. Bias,
Aye.
Mr. Nachtrieb,
That was aye, sorry.
and Ms. Radakovich.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. So
Ladies and gentlemen.
this will tentatively be scheduled for the May 20th city council meeting. Okay? Thanks. All right, next on the agenda is petition 2025-9, which is a variation of use to allow a 2-unit residence, an R3 1 and 2 family residential use, and an R2A single-family residential zoning district, and a series of variations to allow a 2-unit residence located at 1507 East Cass Street. A companion petition to this would be the repeal of petition 1995-48, which is a variation of use to allow the continuation of an existing pizza business, a B1 neighborhood business use, and an R2A district located at 1507 East Cass Street. So before you open up, or staff is recommending that you don't open up the public hearing, and staff is requesting that this item be tabled to the May 15th meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeal.
Okay, we'll need a motion to table, either for or against tabling it.
Motion to table it to the next meeting. Second.
Got a motion and seconded to table. Please call the roll.
Ms. Rohr,
Aye.
Mr. Stiff,
Aye.
Mr. Bias,
Aye.
Mr. Nachtrieb,
Aye.
Ms. Radakovich,
Aye.
Mr. Riggs.
Aye.
Okay, that will be tabled to the, again, the May 15th meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Next on the agenda is petition 2025-10, a special use permit to allow athletic fields incidental to a private high school located at 1201 Wyoming Avenue and 1200 North Larkin Avenue. Again, the petitioner and staff are recommending that the Zoning Board of Appeals not open up the public hearing on this matter. Staff and the petitioner are requesting that this agenda item be tabled to the June 19th, 2025 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals to allow additional time for the petitioner to discuss the proposed use with the neighborhood residents and revise its site plan as necessary.
Can I ask a couple questions before we decide to table or before a motion? I'm assuming that there's going to be more materials submitted from JCA, is that correct? And I'm wondering what kind of extra materials we will be getting, especially if there's a revision in the site plan?
Yeah, it's likely that there'll be additional materials submitted with the next round of review on this.
So it'll be a whole new packet, right?
Yeah, that'll be likely, yeah.
Okay. Within that packet, I've been looking over, especially I heard a couple things, they didn't really jive, so just a real quick question. Within that packet, I can't imagine that anything over there is unincorporated area, right? So is there a situation or scenario where there would not be sidewalks within the neighborhood?
We'd have to look at the surrounding neighborhood in more detail to see if there's sidewalk gaps. That's something that we can look into, though.
Okay, because that was a little concerning. And then, of course, the stormwater situation over there is also something that kind of brings up some concerns, especially if they're going to be putting in some cement and I don't know if they're going to have.
Yeah, any improvements there will require on-site stormwater detention to be maintained on the subject property.
Okay, and then last question was, I don't remember. I'll email you, I guess, if I have some more questions.
Sure.
Thanks.
Okay, with that, we need a motion.
I move we table the request.
To put the
Second.
date. Well, let's get a motion
June
first.
19th.
I'll make the motion. Motion to table to the June 19th Zoning Board of Appeals.
Okay, we have a motion, second?
Second.
Motion and second's been made to table it until June 19th. Go ahead and call the roll.
Mr. Stiff,
Aye.
Mr. Bias,
Aye.
Mr. Nachtrieb,
Aye.
Ms. Radakovich,
Aye.
Mr. Riggs,
Aye.
Ms. Rohr.
Aye.
All right.
I remember my question, so I'm going to ask real quick. What is the policy now on traffic studies and us getting them either here and or planning? Do we get those or no?
It would be our desire to be able to share that information with you if it's completed by our packet deadline. If nothing else, we'll have an amended staff report to go over the details. But yeah, if we get a traffic impact study with this case, it would be our wish to have that included in your packet.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Next on the agenda is petition 2025-11, a special use permit to allow a cellular telecommunications tower and associated ground equipment located at 2500 Brandon Road. The applicant is American Towers LLC. The status of the applicant is a cell tower owner, and the property owner is CenterPoint Joliet TRMLRR LLC. And once again, the location is 2500 Brandon Road, and it's a special use permit request to allow a cellular communications tower and associated ground equipment. Under purpose, the applicant is requesting a special use permit to allow a cellular communications facility in the IT Intermodal Terminal zoning district at 2500 Brandon Road. Per the City of Joliet zoning ordinance, cell towers may be allowed as special uses in the industrial districts as long as they are at least 100 feet from any residential district and an adequate removal bond is provided. The special use permit request must be considered by the City Council following the recommendation of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Under site-specific information, the proposed tower facility is located on Lot 54 in Phase 25 of CenterPoint Intermodal Center at Joliet Subdivision, which was approved and recorded in 2024. The site is surrounded by CenterPoint properties zoned IT Intermodal Terminal District, with the Intermodal Terminal to the west, the Union Pacific Railroad tracks to the east, existing warehouses to the south, and undeveloped property to the north and west. The proposed tower is located in the ITC Intermodal Terminal Industrial Park District. Under surrounding zoning, land use, and character, the site is located within CenterPoint Intermodal Center to the east of the Intermodal Rail Yard. The Union Pacific Railroad tracks border the east side of the site. The surrounding zoning is ITC Intermodal Terminal Industrial Park and ITB Intermodal Terminal Transportation Equipment, which allows uses such as warehouses and cargo container storage. Under applicable regulations, we have special uses for industrial districts and then the criteria for issuance of a special use permit. For discussion, the petitioner, American Towers, is requesting a special use permit to allow a cellular communications tower and its associated ground equipment at 2500 Brandon Road. American Towers owns an existing tower less than half a mile to the west of the proposed tower location on parcel 3732-200-008, and as part of the approvals associated with CenterPoint Phase 25, this parcel was annexed into the city and became part of Lot 60, which is a buildable lot for future development. Additionally, the north-south Brandon Road right-of-way adjacent to the annexed parcel was vacated and will be assembled with adjacent lots. Therefore, American Towers needs to relocate the existing tower. The proposed location is adjacent to the new Brandon Road right-of-way and will not interfere with the continued development of the intermodal park. The existing tower will be removed once the new tower is in place. The proposed tower has the same height and basic footprint as the existing tower. The proposed tower is 250 feet high and will be surrounded by an approximately 52-foot by 50-foot ground equipment area enclosed by a 6-foot fence with screening fabric. A site plan and tower elevation are attached. As a condition of approval, the petitioner will be required to submit a $50,000 removal bond to be used if the tower is abandoned and needs to be decommissioned. Staff finds that the request meets the special use criteria in that the proposed tower will not be detrimental to public health and safety, will not impede or harm the development of the area, and that adequate access to the site is provided. The proposed tower will replace a nearby existing tower and will not significantly alter the existing conditions of the area. Under conditions, if the zoning board desires to approve the special use permit to allow a cellular communications tower and associated ground equipment located at 2500 Brandon Road, the following conditions would be included. 1, that the petitioner shall submit a bond in the amount of $50,000 to be used for decommissioning of the tower and associated equipment in the event of future abandonment. 2, that the special use granted shall herein terminate and lapse unless a building permit or certificate of occupancy is obtained not later than 180 days of the effective date of this ordinance, and the erection or alteration of a building is started or use commenced in that such period. The board may grant an extension of this period valid for no more than 180 additional days upon written application and good cause shown without notice or hearing. And the rest is our standard special use permit language. And 3, should the property be declared a public nuisance, it may be subject to a rehearing and possible revocation of the special use permit. And that concludes staff's report.
Is petitioner present? Please come up to the podium. I'm going to swear you in.
Hi, my name is Gong.
Do you swear your statement to be true?
Yes.
Go ahead and give us your name and address.
My first name is Gong, spelled G-O-N-G. Last name is Lin. I'm at 220 Walnut Drive in St. Charles, Illinois. I'm here on behalf of American Tower.
And do you have any questions for or comments for the board?
Just a couple of things to add. The new location really does have ease of construction as far as for our team, and also as far as RF engineers are looking at, it's kind of perfect. So we're not too far from the old location, and it should not affect existing services much at all.
Okay. Is anyone here to speak in favor of the petition? Anyone opposed to petition? Don't see any. With that, I close the petition. Is there any questions from the board?
Yes. Is towers going to be depleted when Starlink becomes public?
No, I believe cell towers will still be very viable for most case uses. I believe Starlink and satellite internet has been around for a little bit.
Well, Starlink is not fully developed yet.
Correct. But I still see use for cell towers in the future, absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm told in Starlink, if you go to the Himalayas or the Mojave Desert, that you can still use your cell phone. There's no towers there, so.
That is true, as long as the satellites are working properly. With any technology, there are some pros and cons. But yeah, I mean, satellite could, as far as like home use, you would need additional equipment,
okay.
Things of that nature. So I do see both of them be viable in the future for their own uses.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? If none, we'll entertain a motion for or against.
I move we approve. Second.
Motion have been approved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Mr. Bias?
Present. Here. Present.
Aye, nay.
Aye.
Mr. Nachtrieb?
Aye.
Ms. Radakovich?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Ms. Rohr?
Aye.
Mr. Stiff?
Aye.
Okay, the motion is approved, and this is being recommended for approval to the city council, which is, this petition is currently scheduled to go to the May 20th city council meeting. All right, thanks. All right, next on the agenda is old or new business, not for final action or recommendation, and there is no agenda items under that category. So that brings us next on the agenda to public comment. This section is for anyone wanting to speak regarding non-agenda items and are allowed a maximum of 4 minutes, and is not a question and answer period, and staff and the zoning board of appeals members generally do not respond to public comments. Is there anyone who would like to make a public comment at this point in time?
If not, I make a motion to adjourn. Please approve by saying aye.